Hello, everyone, and welcome to Johnny and Samfon's podcast. Today we have Jucifer here as our second guest.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, feels good to have you here. And we're gonna talk a little bit about social anxiety to start off with, because you have been going through that a lot, right?
Yeah, I was eating at a friend's house, um, and I think my mind was thinking, but I wasn't thinking. Like, what if I can't eat this? What if I don't like it? Maybe they will hate me.
Yeah, okay, oh
So,
shit, that's a bit harsh.
yeah, but that's how my mind works. Like,
Yeah,
everyone has to love me.
oh,
No one
that's
can think bad of me. So I couldn't eat. Like the throat closes and you're just feeling nausea and stuff.
yeah,
So you can't eat. And like when they told me you don't have to eat, it's okay. You don't have to eat it. Then I could eat.
yeah. I mean, I have
So
that too. Like, I have problems eating because of my anxiety,
yeah,
often when I'm in a social situation, but it's not because of that I want people to like me or something like that. It's just something that goes together with my anxiety. I just it just feels weird. I think it's because it's always been for me that I like attach it to being nauseous and like feeling ill
yeah,
whenever I have an anxiety, and then eating becomes like hard to do.
yeah.
So it's like it's stuck around, even though I've worked so much with my anxiety, so I don't have too much anymore. But like eating, that part I'm not really good at if I'm in like an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah,
Still,
we can make a club.
yeah,
Like
we're probably a lot of people.
the club of troubled eaters.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, just meet up and not eat, or
Just
just
stare
meet
at
up
each
and
other.
then like there's one who's like, you don't have to eat, and then everybody's like, woo, let's do this, guys.
But
They had candy, and they were like, "Oh, if you sell this for this amount today, then you get this candy." And I was on like a strict diet, and I was like, "I want this, but also I have diet, so like, what do I do?" And then I was like, "Oh, I don't know what to do." But I brought it home, and then I let it sit for like 2 weeks, and then when my diet was over, I ate it.
Oh my god, you champion.
Yeah, I know, right?
And most people would have just broke. Just is that how you get the mental strength to always be strict with like your daily regime and not just falter all the
Yeah,
time?
just think back to that moment. I could have the power. I have it within. That's my
I
inner
like it.
Tuba taking over.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I must have had because I worked around like Christmas time, and I must
Yeah.
have had this same conversation like I know, like 30 times. Like, where basically you get like a family coming with their kid, he's like between 8 and 12. And they say that they need a laptop for school, but maybe a bit of gaming. And
yeah.
I'm like, what game? And they're like,
Oh.
Fortnite. And I'm like, yeah, of
Fortnite,
course. And I'm like,
Minecraft, yeah.
yeah, if you want this, like, this will run it. But really, if you want a gaming laptop, you need to actually buy a proper one, spend this much. And they're like, oh, no, well, he can't afford that. Just this with it next year. He's got the Xbox anyway, and you see the kid just like all of his dreams
Yeah.
crashed, thinking he was going to be the next ninja.
Oh, that is really
And in
sad.
a way, well, it's sad in a way, but then Fortnite's kind of a horrid game, so I feel like I've saved the child from
Yeah,
just
bad experience,
a
yeah.
bad child,
Yeah.
sort of. I mean, that's not how I felt. I could see the betrayal in his eyes, but I was
Yeah.
unlucky.
So
I've got
sad,
I've got
still.
sales to make.
Oh, lol. I mean, in that sense, consoles are kind of nice because they work and they are kind of cheap.
Oh yeah,
I
sure.
mean,
I
I
mean, like,
actually don't know how much they go for, like, but I remember
I
buying
don't,
my Xbox 360, like, back when I was a console noob, for like 3,000 kroners or something like
yeah,
that.
but it's a lot more now. Like a lot of them, like it kind of depends, but like on release, you're probably spending close to 400 to 500 like euros on a
Mm,
console, and with the new ones coming out. And to be honest, like that's not shy off buying like a entry tier gaming PC. So
yeah.
like, especially for like running a game like Fortnite,
I mean,
which
if you
isn't.
if you buy used, then you can get some really good shit for that money.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. But it's like at the same time, they probably already got the consoles because the kind of swap to PC fad only became a thing as Fortnite got really popular and the Fortnite esports got really popular, and obviously everyone was using like mouse and keyboard, so all of the kids that were playing
So
wanted
the
to be
pros
like
use, yeah.
exactly the pros and not,
Because I
and
was
that's
thinking,
why.
like, you can play Fortnite on consoles.
Yeah, but you can play with mouse and keyboard now because they
Yeah.
created the compatibility. But that's kind of where that came from, and I think all the console like the Microsoft and Sony were like, uh-oh, we might just lose everyone here. Quick, let them use the mouse and keyboard. So,
Yeah.
but like consoles are definitely like they're just more established as like. I think it comes down to a bit like social perception of like gaming, and it's the shift has gone from like only nerds play games to like cool people play games but only on console. I'm gradually shifting more to PC gaming being more acceptable. But
I
like,
mean,
you know,
it's
it's still
kind of
kind of like,
nice though seeing like, sure everyone plays games, but like all the pro players play on PC, so
yeah, I mean, and that's well, that helps like shape the image of it, that it's not
yeah.
just like, you know, full neckbeards playing all the time, because that's what everyone kind of thinks. I mean, I can't really talk because I kind of have a neckbeard sometimes, but that's not the point. So
Yeah.
anyway, moving on.
I think that was kind of what like that's kind of fun because my when Evie, Tobbe, and Smites and Tex, so wow, did I just say and so many times? Well, when they all came to my graduation and met my parents and my family, like they broke that stereotype because they weren't like typical gaming people, you know, that my parents or like my family would expect, because they had this prejudice of like, oh, they're gonna be big fat dudes with neck beards who like, I don't know, you know. And they broke
But
that
yeah,
stereotype and they were like, oh, I guess we were all wrong about people that you hang out with. And I'm like, because I think it went a long way though that they could play piano, because you know my dad is gonna get he's gonna get a bit biased by that.
they didn't trust them until they could play piano.
I mean, yeah, that's probably how my dad works. Like as soon as he touched the keys, he's like, well, they're golden. I love them. They are perfect.
Nice.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Johnny and Samfald's podcast. Today we have my sister here. Welcome, Diza.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you very much.
excellent. It's good to have you here.
Why don't we talk about this
Yeah,
math
but
thing?
I would like
Yeah,
I would like to hear about. Yeah, okay, we can talk about math at first.
yeah.
Okay,
So
to
you
begin with.
found out that you like math.
Yeah,
How does that
actually,
happen?
it's so weird because I work at a school. Like, I'm not a teacher, but I'm kind of an extra teacher or someone who helps out with in the teaching situation. So somehow I've been, I don't know why, but I ended up being like a math person that people ask when it comes to math. Like, I'm the person that people
So you're like a specials
come
teacher,
to.
but for math,
Yeah, that's
without
yeah.
any basic like math education.
Or yeah, I have basic math education. Like everyone has basic math education,
Yeah, but
but
like
I don't
without
have like
any.
any math education in teaching math.
Yeah,
Or yeah, I'm
Qualification.
not
yeah. There we
supposed to
go.
teach math. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But
Exactly.
so it's just weird that I have this responsibility now. But yeah, so yeah, today I realized that I actually like math. Apparently, math is not my favorite subject, or it wasn't my favorite subject in school. Today I found myself like counting math or like solving math problems after I was supposed to go home
So after
from my work.
hours,
Yeah.
you just
So
you just
I was
felt like doing it, or
what the fuck is happening to me? Yeah, I just felt like doing it, and it was so weird. I just I didn't want to go home. So
oh, that
yeah,
is nice though. Like, because
yeah.
then you
So
like your work, and that is important.
yeah. So that story about me
So yeah, so it's the math that
liking
motivates
math.
you, not the students or the pupils.
Totally.
Yeah,
She's only there to do math.
you have a pretty
Yeah.
funny story about one a teacher at your school, right? They call him Bar.
Oh, bar.
So
Bar.
wait, what
What's
is
the English
actually?
word for bar?
You
It's
know what?
like
Let me actually pull out translate because I don't know.
I've never used that word actually. It's not very
Let me
common.
switch this over. So you call it conferius? What? Is that
Sorry?
right? The thing, basically like what do you call
The
Christmas
little,
trees?
not
The little
leaves or
green
like
ones on the Christmas trees.
yeah.
What word did you even say?
Coniferous. What?
What the fuck?
Coniferous.
Yeah, that's probably the one.
Okay.
That makes
Okay,
sense.
so that's what
That's what they
the
call them, but
former
it's
math
in Swedish,
teacher
yeah.
called himself. That's kind of weird. And
Oh.
his motivation was that Because I asked him, why do you call yourself Bar? And he was like, because everyone has names like Lisa and Peter. And he was like, I just want to stand out, so I call myself Bar. And I was like, what the fuck?
And
And
the
he was kind of
students,
weird.
they like him, or do they just?
I think some of them loved him and some of them just didn't understand him at all.
No.
And I can totally see why. He was working at the school for a short period, like 1 month or something.
Oh, so he's
And
not
now we
there
have
anymore?
another teacher. No, he's not there anymore.
Ah, that's
Which is kind
unfortunate.
of
I kind of
sad, but
like the stories about him, but I find myself saying his name at work because there's a part of town where I go to that is called Barstigen, which is basically coniferous road or something like that.
Mm.
And I just call it
Okay.
Bar for short, and then I think of
Yeah.
that story every time. It's kind of fun.
But I feel kind of like rude. I just want to know how you guys know each other, and yeah, tell me a bit about your relationship.
I
Like,
feel like
I just feel rude. I have to know something about you.
yeah, Johnny, go ahead, tell us.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, do it.
What? How we met?
How we met, the whole
I
whole
What the
thing.
fuck?
Well, we met, I guess, through Evie.
Yep.
And then we like played some games because initially we were, I don't know, we're having like a conversation. Me and Geddy were having a conversation about like death, and then Samfan joined, and then we had like I don't know, we spent like 2 hours on Google Maps going around Sweden, and then we played like games for a bit, and then we played
That's
like a
kind
lot.
of weird.
Yeah, I
So
don't know.
you talked about death, and you were on Google Map,
Not the
Google Maps, like.
No.
not the same time. Like me.
No, okay.
Like I played a game with like some people. I don't remember who specifically. I know that Geddy was there and Evie was there, and everyone left but Geddy. And then Samfan joined. And that was the first time I met him. And then Geddy left, and then me and Samfan just talked for like a few hours about random shit. And just
Oh.
one thing we did is we went around Sweden on Google Maps, just
Yeah,
looking at
okay.
shit.
So you just ended up together
Yeah, exactly.
after the show.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically. After hours, if
Just
you will.
Yeah.
just played a lot of games, and I don't like playing with rage gamers. So when
Yeah.
I play with people who rage, like either I don't play with them because it's just annoying, or like I tell them to chill. Samfan was one that I told to chill because he wasn't that angry. Like I don't want you to think like Samfan was like screaming all the time, but like
Okay.
he was just, I mean, Counter-Strike's pretty a frustrating game.
Yeah,
I kind of
Yeah.
get it.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I think it also was because there was a lot of people that we played with that actually raged, and
Yeah.
you were having like a small rant about how you didn't like how people raged, and I was like, oh, I don't want to be one of those.
Yeah, we won't name drop anyone, but
Yeah, let's not name drop, but there were a couple of them.
yeah. But
Okay,
yeah, that's
so
how we know
that's
each
the
other.
story about. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. We also met up in both Cologne and Stavanger recently, so
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Samfan
That's
has
nice.
a weird thing where when we're in person, he randomly speaks Swedish to me.
Oh, really?
I don't really know why, but every time he does it, he gets this look on his face of like shock. So I always think that something bad has happened, but I don't know what he said because he said it to me in Swedish with this look of shock. But he's just surprised that he spoke to me in
Yeah,
Swedish again.
it just surprises me,
Wow.
and then I get like, because I don't know why I do it, because it's with no other
I
people
don't
do I do it. I
No,
just
it's only with
it's only
Johnny.
Johnny, and it's like in
That's
calm
weird.
situations, and I feel like I don't know.
Maybe you feel comfortable
Yeah,
and
probably.
safe.
Yeah, I probably
like,
feel comfortable, and then I don't think about it, and then I randomly speak Swedish, and then I realize what I'm doing.
That's
And
cute.
just get confused.
I think it means you like each other.
I think it's because also I'm not used to using English in person. I'm used to using it like
Yeah,
speaking
that's true.
online and stuff.
Like
And
this,
when I'm in
yeah.
person, I'm used to speaking Swedish, and then the situation
course.
makes me just like switch to one for like because of habit, basically.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just not my fantastic understanding of Swedish.
I mean, every time you try to speak Swedish, you put on one of the weirdest voices ever. And it's kind of the same.
So can I hear
Johnny's
something?
studied Norwegian, so he knows a little bit.
Okay.
He's
That's
somewhat
interesting.
of a linguist.
Yeah, just
Oh.
somewhat.
Somewhat.
Yeah,
Define somewhat.
he's got a
Kind of
degree.
Well, I have a translation degree, but it's kind of more of like a meme. Like I just say I'm a linguist. It's like it's just I don't know, become like a joke. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sounds really advanced.
yeah.
Yeah.
Serious.
He'll
Mm.
pull it out in important situations just to have some leeway, you know.
When we're talking about language, but I'm not really a linguist, and sometimes I can't speak English properly. So, but we'll ignore that.
That's unfortunate. Do you
We
feel
know.
comfortable enough to move forward now, Diza?
Yeah, I do. We can move on. I feel like
You
a
have
nice person now.
Yeah, nice, excellent. I feel like you're probably one of the only people who would care about learning our connection before.
Well,
But
most
But it
people
feels
know
so
it, don't
weird
they?
because
yeah, that's true. Most people
yeah,
would know it.
that's true.
But
Because otherwise, it's like if I don't ask anything about you, I mean, I know everything about you, Sanfrid, of course,
Yeah.
because or Sanfan, as everyone calls you now.
Oh,
No,
so much has changed.
but I'm probably the first one who actually used that nickname. I think.
Yeah, that's true.
I call you
I don't know
Sanford
when you started
sometimes.
out.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
Okay,
my
whatever.
mom
That's-
made it for me a long time ago, and she spelled
Yeah,
it.
because she didn't like the other nicknames,
No,
so she had to make something up on
it
her
was
own.
it
Like,
was your fault, wasn't it? You called me Safke.
was it my? Yeah, something like that. It was something very ugly and
Rude.
weird. She didn't. Yeah.
And then she came up with some fun, but she spelled it with a U, so she had like sun and fun.
Fun. That's,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Ah. And then she was like,
It's
"It's
so cute.
soligt roligt," which is the same in
Yep.
Swedish, and it's just
Oh,
it's
I didn't.
really cringe.
I haven't heard about the Swedish translation. Soligt roligt. But
That's how she
very...
presented it to me, but it was a long time ago. Yeah. Well, I feel like
Okay.
we've gone into this
Let's
too
move
far.
on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So tell me about your production thingy-lingy. When did you start? Like, give us a timeline of like.
A timeline? Oh,
Yeah.
like music in general or music production?
Let's
Like
do music in general first. It's gonna be harder
music in
and a
general.
lot more
Okay.
to go through.
It's gonna be... That's gonna take... Oh, no, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I started out... I don't know how it started. Like, we have a music family.
Yeah, that's
Because
one way of putting it.
yeah, we always play and sing at home, so it's natural. I don't know. And then when I was 5, I started to play the cello at school, or like kulturskolan. How do you say that in English?
I guess like a school
a
of
school
culture
for
learning.
culture. Yeah. So like a music school outside of the real school.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so that was my first and most important instrument for a couple of years, and then I also started to sing and like more seriously, because I always sang, but now
Yeah,
I think it was
my
when
dad
I
used, or like our dad, I guess, used to call her P3, which is basically the pop radio in Sweden,
yeah,
because
Right,
she
okay.
just wouldn't shut up.
that's like energy.
Yeah.
That's true. So I just, and I think that oh my god, I had a couple of songs. I wrote some songs when I was like 7 or 8 years old or something. Do you remember Love mot
Love
Milena
mot din lena
kind?
kind. Yeah, I do.
Oh, that was so not good. But yeah, I started to like compose music when I was young. So
Yeah, you got the program Sibelius, right, and started.
yeah, but then I was like, yeah, I was kind of, I think I was like 12 or something when I started.
Yeah.
Or like 10, I don't know. Yeah, so, and then,
Because then you could write in sheet music, and I think the program played it out, right?
yeah, but then I just think that that process is a bit complicated, or because you write something and then you get to hear it as you're supposed to hear it, like a couple of weeks or months later, when you actually have musicians that can play
Yeah.
the music. So it's kind of a process where the actual
Making of the
result is kind of delayed, like if you compare to when you actually start to have your ideas. So that's what made me motivated to start like composing in a digital audio workstation, as you call it, which you use for recording and mixing and mastering and stuff like that. So those are the kind of programs that you use for music or hip hop or like more modern music.
Yeah, and then you started is it a Mac version of what is it called? The Mac one?
It's Logic. So that's, or like the basic one, that's GarageBand that
Yeah,
comes
because
with
that was the good old times back in like 2012 or something like that. You and Krilla made a
that's
lot of
right.
shit. Like
I
Blue
had a
is one
friend.
that comes to mind.
Yeah, that was when I started out, and I had some stuff like microphone and MIDI keyboard and everything you actually need to get started. And I think that my uncle Henke, helped me with that. But I didn't really understand all of that because it was very complicated, and it took a lot of time and energy to understand how to use thing. And I wasn't that motivated. I just thought that maybe someone else can do that and I don't have to go out that. I don't know. But then a couple of years, or like 2 years ago or 1.5 year ago, I started to realize that I actually wanted to do that like by myself. So I wanted to start producing music, like recording music, and because I did already compose music, I wanted to start recording it and
So
producing
basically,
it.
before
Like,
you just wrote the backbone for what was going to be the songs, but now you're getting into like the recording process and mixing and stuff like that, like the whole.
yeah. So I could see that I had the singing part. I could write songs. I could compose. I could play some instruments, and then I just wanted to use all of my skills and create something new.
I don't know, maybe this is outside of the box, but the artists that collab a lot with other artists are the ones that are more freely like switching between genres and sounds. Because like,
You mean?
yeah, like
You
different.
mean?
What? Go ahead.
It's kind of a latency when we talk. Like, I
Yeah.
think we. Oh, okay. No, but do you mean if artists who collab with each other have more of a flexible sound? Is that
Yeah,
what you're saying?
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Or at least that's my theory, at least.
Yeah, I think that sounds kind of. Yeah,
Because
it could be.
I'm thinking about, for example, Avicii, because
Yeah.
he basically made no music just by himself. He just picked out people that he liked, and then he made songs together with them. And
Yeah.
he dived into a lot of different genres, even though like there was a pop, like the pop genre is always obviously the most popular songs. So like even if they stick to the same line, he branched out a lot into different genres, even though those songs didn't get as popular in like the popular, I don't know, pop music. Or like I don't know what you call it, like
Said like
in the
a pro.
mainstream, in this main
The popular pop music.
in the mainstream,
The
basically.
rocking rock music.
Yeah.
The hip hop and hip hop music.
Yeah,
No,
boy.
okay. Yeah, that's a fair hypothesis.
Looks like we are running out of time, guys. Hate to cut you out short, but that's the harsh reality of the world.
Did I actually say something interesting?
I don't know.
I thought it was interesting.
That's good.
I don't know
cool.
anything about music, so
That's
Okay.
absolute
nice.
garbage.
Well, yeah. So guys, thanks for listening to this podcast. We will be
Welcome.
back next week, and then we will have Stephanie on talking about tattooing, gaming, and something more that I can't really remember now, but you'll see next week.
Oh my god, you guys are so professional. Like,
Yeah.
you tell your audience something about what's gonna happen next week. I'm impressed, actually.
Yeah, that's nice. We'll
Wow.
take any compliment we'll get. Yeah, okay. So see you guys next
I'm his
week, and
sister.
thanks
Okay.
to
Okay.
listening to this episode. Bye bye.